So today we'll discuss about collections and their interfaces. What are the collection interfaces and all? So basically, what is collection and what is this interface is related to? These collections in Java are something that is which is a framework that provides an architecture to store and manipulate the group of objects. So if there are certain group of objects and if you want to store them, or if you want to have the framework collected in one place, then we use this collection. So this goes the definition as the collection and framework in Java is a framework that provides an architecture to store and manipulate a group of objects. So it is not a single type. So it is a group. If you have certain array list, then you want to do some action on that, then you can use this collections. So Java collections can usually be achieved in all the operations that we can perform, such as searching, sorting, insertion, manipulation, and deletion. So we can search for any object that is related in this group of objects. We can actually sort them, that is like in from ascending to descending or descending to ascending as per our requirement. And we can even insert the objects. If you say I have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, I want to insert 3 in between 2 and 4, then you can do it using this collections. And manipulation and deletion are something like manipulation is like updating something or removing something or increasing the values. It all depends upon the manipulations. And deletion is to delete it. So if you want to delete any one of the object, then you can do it using this collections. So basically Java collections is it's like a single unit of objects. So you have different 10 objects, you have put them in one collection, so now that collection is becoming as a one object. So collection is a single object, but inside the collection you will have number of objects. So Java collection framework, this is an interface where you can actually use array list, vector, linked list, hash set, linked hash set, tree set. These are all examples of collections where you are using this single unit of objects to provide the framework. So if you can just see my screen. So these are the different types of uh, examples of classes or just different types of RLS that we use to go with the collections. So that is how we define the collection as a single unit of objects. That is a group. There are group of objects, but in that group of objects comes under a single collection. So it represents a single unit. So what is basically the framework in Java? So the framework is nothing but the architecture. It is already a ready-made architecture that you have all the architecture defined in the system, and you are directly using it through the Java. So this is a ready-made architecture. You have all the structures, classes, all the objects that are to be taken. All everything is already set up in the Java. That you will just call it as a function or something, and then you use it directly. So this represents a set of classes and interfaces. This architecture, whatever we have ready made already built in the framework, this has only the classes and interfaces. So this collection framework, it represents the architecture for storing and manipulating, as I already told you. So these we have interfaces and its implementations. That is using the classes we do interface implementations and usage of the interfaces. And we even have algorithms written according to the collection of collections, and then we use this accordingly. So we will take a look of the hierarchy of the collection of interface. Let me share you the screen. So the hierarchy of framework, it basically depends upon the uh, flow or the path where it goes and how it uses and everything. So this is the Java.util package is the one which contains all the classes. So as this we already discussed. So Java.util dot star we use, and then we can call any of the class or any of the variables. I'm sorry, any of the methods that we want. So these are the this is the hierarchy. So in this it shows the iterable. So this iterable is basically an interface. So in this interface, we are taking up the next level of hierarchy where we are using the collection. So in this collection, we have all the objects, classes, all the number of objects made it into a single unit. So in the collection can be a list, can be a queue, can be a set. It can be any of this or all, everything. So if you talk about the list, you will have the flower bases, and you will be taking one, two, three, four, all the different objects in the list. So as we already used this example array list, and we have done n of square braces where we have taken certain objects, and when we are calling up the array list, we use n of 0, n of 1, n of 2, n of 3. So that is how this array list has been called, and this array list has been set up in this list. So we have linked list, vector, stat under this list products, and under this queue you have a DQ and array DQ. So we generally don't use this queue. It is very rare. We mostly use this list itself. So and even this set, hash set, linked hash set, sorted set, and tree set are directly inbuilt, and we can actually use them directly. So if you just see, the green ones are the ones which are known as classes. The green ones are the classes, and the blue ones are the interfaces. So interface, the definition itself says that it is a bridge between two objects. So it is a bridge between a class and an object. So it is how we use this interfaces and gets collected with the in collections. So this is the hierarchy of the collection. And then coming to our methods, that which the collection interface generally uses. So actually there are many methods. If you just see here, the methods and the descriptions are already given. I'll share you this document, but meanwhile we'll just go through with some of the methods which are very important. So I mean the first one, which is a Boolean add. This here clearly it says that it is an add. So which means we are adding something. So this is how this add method is used, and it is used to insert an element in the collection. So we have certain 10 elements, and we want to insert one of the element in that. So we use this. Okay. So the next, so this is what about the add and add all. It is used to insert the specific collection items in the invoking collection. So you have certain collection already, and you have another collection which wants to be added in the collection which is already running. So then we use add all method. We call this method, and we do add all method. So public boolean remove. Remove is for to delete, and the same part remove all is like removing all the elements which have invoking collection. Like already the collection is there, and then you have some collection elements which are already added, and you want to remove them. Then you use remove all, and we use remove elf to delete only those elements that have the specified I mean the requirement, and we can actually remove all the other elements apart from those elements. So that is how we use this remove elf. And then retain all. So whatever we deleted, whatever we did, we can actually invoke them again using this retain all. And this int size is like we can get the total number of elements present in the collection. If you have 10 elements, it gives us a 10 value if you use this method. And clear, it's just to clear the list. If you have 10 elements added and you want to clear them, but list will be there, list will not be get deleted, list will be there, but only the elements get cleared. So the list, if you have a 10 objects in the list, you can actually clear the space of 10 objects, but you can add another 10 objects in that list. So this clear is just to clear it, but not to delete it. And this contains, we can use this contains method to search an element. So if you want to search an element in the certain group of collection, then you can use this contains method. And iterator is like, see, if you have a if you use this iterator, it returns to the place where this iterator is already observed. So if you found it in one of the situation, then it goes back to the return, it goes back to the iterator. So this object to array, this is an object and this is to array. So this, if you just see any type of doing this, then which means we are converting this collection of objects into an array. So this is how this conversion is done through this method. And even the below one is also the conversion. It converts the collection into an array. So we have a collection and then we are converting it into an array. And boolean empty, it just checks whether the collection is empty or not. If we have any certain elements, then it shows it's not empty, it returns false. But if it is having any other apart from that, it returns true. And this is the default stream, which is the parallel stream running with the collection as it is the source. I mean, the collection is the source and there is a parallel stream which is running similar to the collection. So you'll be having two array lists and they are running parallelly. Whatever you do it to the main source, that reflects in this parallel stream also. So we can use this when you are replicating the data or when we want to duplicate the data, then you can use this parallel stream. And the default stream, this is a just a sequential stream. This is not a parallel stream, it is a sequential stream. So you have to do the collect, I mean, whatever you do it to the collection, you even have to do it for the stream, sequential stream. And Spliterator, which is used to have a Spliterator where the elements, if you say 10 elements are there and you want to split them at around the 5, then you can use the Spliterator and do that. And this equals is, I mean, the word itself says we are equating something, so it gives us the values as, I mean, what are the matches are present, it gives us this value. So this hash code returns the number of hash code number of the collection. So whatever number is there, it returns the direct value of the collection and gives us the hash code number. So these are all the methods of the collection interface. So these methods are important, and you get used to these interfaces of, I mean, methods when you directly use them into the program. Okay. Any doubts till this? Do you want to give a synopsis, or do you have any doubts in this?
Ma'am,
Yes.
can you tell me 16th one sequential stream means what?
Default sequential stream is like, see, you have 10 elements and you're creating a stream which is starting from 17. So it is a sequential stream. It's combined with the collection. So I mean, which is the source stream itself. So you want to have another stream which is starting from 17 to 20. Then you will say using the stream which is a sequential stream of your collection stream, the main stream. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Tarun and the other one who joined late. Do you want me to repeat or do you want to give a synopsis of this?
Sorry, what did you say, ma'am? Second one.
Sorry. Okay,
I'll
so
just
we
go through it.
Okay, so today we are talking about the collections. So collections are those which are which is a framework that provides an architecture to store and manipulate the group of objects. So we have a group of objects, and if you want to do any manipulations, and that we can do it here.
One.
So in this collection, you have different types of interfaces and different types of list, whatever you can actually do. So we use this collection method and we do it. Okay, so this collection actually have different types of interfaces and different types of methods to be used in instead of having these collections in the program. So we were just discussing about all those collections. I'll share you this document. You can actually go with the method name and the description of it. You will understand. So for insertion, removal, to clear or to delete or to what do you say, or to have a parallel stream or to have a sequential stream, you can have every method called with by just adding java.util.star, and then you can use all this method directly inbuilt. You can directly use them to use the description, to use this in the code. Okay, so the next part is the iterator interface. So what is iterator actually? Can anyone tell me? So an iterator is an object. It is an object that can be used to loop through collection. So if we have array list or hash set or anything, it we use this iterator to have this under the collections. So while loop is a iterator. There you can use an iterator over there. So I'm just pinging the definition of iterator in the chat box. You can just check. So it while loop comes under the iterator itself. So it goes on iterating and it goes on giving us the values in the array list. So while loop is an example of that iterator. Okay. So in this iterator interface, the facility of iterating these elements is provided in this interface. So when you're iterating it, you will be going in the forward direction only. You'll be going in the forward direction itself. We can't go for the backward direction. So this is what about the iterator interface. An iterator interface only have three types of methods. One is boolean has next, and next, and then remove. Has next, next, and remove. These are the three methods that are actually there for iterator interface. I'm just giving you that data in chat box. Has next, next, and remove. So what are these descriptions? So has next, when we use has next, it returns true or false. So the return type will be boolean. How is it used? Like public boolean has next. So it returns true or false if the iterator has more elements. Otherwise, it returns false. So if you say is it is having 10 elements, then if the collection is having really 10 elements, and if you're asking whether it has 10 elements, then it returns 2. But if not, if you ask if it is having 11 elements, has next 11 elements, then it returns false. Okay, and the next thing is next. The next is used to go to the next cursor or the next pointer, whatever we have it in the method. So if you're pointing it at second point, and if you want to go to the next point, then you can use next. And remove is used to remove the last elements written by the iterator. So see, while you're in the iterator, you have gone with the one first position, second position, and third position. When you're at third position, you're asking it to remove it. Then it removes the third position only. So that is how this remove method is used in iterator interface. And after iterator interface, we have the collection interface. So collection interface is basically the interface which is implemented by all the classes in the collection framework. So if you have all the different classes like main class, subject class or animal class, whatever class you are using, this collection interface is the interface is the only interfaces which is implemented by all the classes. So it declares the methods, or in a, like what we can say is it builds the foundation, it gives the foundation on which this complete framework works. So you have a interface and you have a basic class, and this class is basic foundation, is a main foundation to all the classes. So to the whole program, classes are the basic foundation. So we have add all, as we have already read clear. These are all the subclasses of this collection interfaces. So you can directly say collection interface is the basic foundation of all the implementation classes. After, we have we have discussed about iterable interface, and the next is collection interface. Now we are talking about the list interfaces. So list interface is basically the child interface of the collection interface. So what we have discussed is, so first we discussed about iterator interface, which is well known example of while loop. And the next is collection interface, which is the basic foundation of all the interfaces. And the next is this list interface. So what is interface? List interface is the child interface of the collection interface. So in list interface, it takes about all the data structures which are present in the which are present in the collection. It can have the duplicate values also, but this complete list interface will take up all the data types which are present in the main collection of objects. So a list interface is actually implemented by array list, linked list, vector, and stack. So in list interfaces, we can have the examples as array list, linked list, vector, and stack. Okay, so these are all the objects, these are all the classes of the list. And see this so this is how the data types look for everything. So if you are using the list array list data type, then you will be having the syntax as link data type, which data type you want to use, you can use it. I'm dropping it in chat box also, you can just copy paste that same. I'll even get it into the document so that you can have it later. Okay, so So in list interfaces, we have array list, linked list, vector, and stack. Array list will be defined as a list, which is a data type of list one as new array list. So array list can, if you are taking it as int, then here you will be replacing this as int. So if you are taking a list of characters, then you will be taking this as char. If it is a float, you will be taking as float, as whatever you want. So basically this list doesn't have any difference, much difference. These are almost similar, but depending upon the list, I mean, generally we use only the array list instead of using linked list, vectors, and stack. We basically go for array list itself. So using this array list, we can actually do insert, delete, and sort the elements, whatever we want from this particular thing. So coming now, we'll learn about all this list separately. So if I go for array list, so what does this array list says? The array list class, it has a list interfaces, and this is a dynamic query. So what does dynamic means? It is on time, on run time. You're not storing it permanently. It's a temporary one, and it goes on with the running part. So if you want to add anything, you can add it. If you want to delete, you can delete it. Whatever you want, you can do it on this array list. Whatever, whenever we want or whenever we want, we can do it. So array list is there. So you will declare an array list first, stating it is it's some list. Then you will add the data. Then you can use the iterator list to get this data, and then you print it out using a while loop. So this is how we use the array list. So we'll just have some examples on the array list. Let me show you the examples on the compiler. So I have imported the util first so that I can use any class of data which I want. Okay. Now in my class, in my main program, I'll start writing my array list. I'll first declare my array list. So the syntax goes as array list, and the data type. What shall we do? Shall we add names to the array list or the objects? I mean integers. We shall do with the names itself. So I'll go for string list, new array list, and the data type would be string. So I have declared a new array list. So the name is list. So this is the name which I want. I can even give names also. Whatever I want, the name would be. This is the one um, which is manageable. Like you can do it anytime. So now I want to add the objects. So I use the names list dot add. So add is to add, right? So dot add, and whatever value I want. So let me add Santoshi, and I want to add a list of, the next would be Tarun, Raju, So I've added four names here, and I want to print them. So to print it, first I have to do it through a iterator. So first I have to add this list to the iterator. So the iterator data type is iterator, and the iterator name, which could be I1, which is equal to names dot iterator. So I'm using my list array list name dot iterator, and I've declared it as an iterator. This iterator need to be declared, and this we are using this iterator to have this all added into the string, and then the iteration starts. Okay, now I have to print the iterator. I have to print this iterator list, whatever I've added, through while loop. So while the iterator which is there, and now here it goes with the methods where we have called. For iterator interface, we have three methods, right? One is has next, next, and remove. So to go to the next cursor, go to the next pointer, we use has next, right? So the syntax goes like I1 dot has next, which goes to the next printed. Like in our main thing, we give I, declare I, and do I plus plus and everything, right? But here, if you just use has next, it goes to the next pointer, next pointer, next one. We need not to go to incremented thing. We just can go with the flow, like go to the next pointer easily using this while loop. And I am printing my list. So I'll print my list as I1, not next. So it will print all those values, whatever are there, one by one, and this print goes on with until my list is completed. Okay, so this is how this array list is declared, and I have added my names, and then I have printed using my has next and next methods. Okay, just remember has next is used to move to the next pointer. Next is to just to print wherever the whatever the value is holding it. Okay. Any doubts in this array list program? This is the example of array list. Is guys any doubts, or do you want to use anything extra? So this is the array list. Even the what do you say? Linked list is also the same. So, but linked list is not like we while using the iterator. There you have to use the data type also. So if I'm using my linked list here, linked list string names new dot linked list. I have declared my linked list, and I have started my adding also. And then my coming to my iterator here, uh, there was no data type for array list, but for my iterator of my linked list, I need to declare my data type here. That is string. Okay. So now let me run the program. So it is also the same thing. You will be getting the same values here. There is no change. The list will be the same. Okay. So this is the example for linked list. I hope you guys are saving the data, whichever I'm putting it in, or else you want me to put it in the document. Yes, guys. డాక్యుమెంట్ లో పెట్టమంటారా లేకపోతే చాట్ బాక్స్ లో సేవ్ చేసుకుంటున్నారా?
డాక్యుమెంట్లో పెట్టండి మ్యామ్, వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్లో.
ఓకే. ఓకే, నేను అదే డ్రాప్ చేస్తున్నాను. జస్ట్ గివ్ మీ అ సెకండ్. అదే లిస్ట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. Just 2 minutes. I'm just dropping out in the document. Okay.
ఓకే మ్యామ్.
Okay. So this is about the linked list. Now coming to the vector. The vector is also similar to array list itself. So everything is same, but instead of this thing, you use vector directly. So vector and whatever the string we want, and this is again vector. The string syntax is also the same, and you're adding the names here, and the iterator is also similar to your uh, linked list, and you're printing it. That's it. Okay. So this is about the vector. I'm posting in the document. So now, see, I am giving you using the same method as next and has next, but you have to do an assignment on all this using the other method known as remove and next both. Okay. So coming to the stack is completely different from all this. So stack is also part of this list method, and stack is also a subclass of this vector itself. But stacks does not have add or something. Stack has keywords like push or boolean push or boolean peak, pop. So these are all the small keywords where we use them to have their adding or deleting or something like that. So the method goes like, syntax goes like stack, and we have declared as the same string, the list name, and the stack list name has been declared, and we have added all those. But instead of this add, we have to use push. So push is the keyword which is used to add in the stack. Okay. And after pushing it, or if you have completed doing the push, then you have to go with add, sorry, pop. So once it is closed, you have done with the closure, then you will say it as pop. Pop ends with the program and ends with the adding or everything, and it then next goes with the iterator. And iterator, similar, it is the same keywords because it is only the iterator which we are using it. Okay, so push and pop are the new keywords for stack, and this is how it actually goes up. So generally, the iterator, whatever we use it here, it comes like last in first out data structure. So this prints out the last one will not be printed, so it prints only the last and first out. So whatever the first is coming out, that only will get printed. The last part will not be printed in this. To get this printed, you have to create a separate null object and then create whatever you want. So this is what is known as stack. So this is the part of list. I mean to say the list which we have array list, linked list, vector, and stack. So these are all the four things. And then the next would be our queues. So queue interface, we have again DQ and priority queues. There we can actually go into deep of having the queues and everything tomorrow. So after that, we can have this hash set and linked hash set and tree set everything day after tomorrow. Okay. So under the hierarchy today, we completed the list part, which is array list, linked list, vector, and stack. Vector and stack are related to each other. And this is the example of stack. Any doubts, or do you want me to explain anything again? Let me know. I'll share you this, but then let me know if you have any doubts. Mm. Yes, guys, do you want me to repeat anything, or do you have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So shall we end the class for today?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So today you have learned about the array list, hash list, vector, and stack, how to declare them, how to use them in your programs. So I request everyone just go back to your assignment and then take this four examples, I mean, which I'll be giving you the document. So take this four examples, try to use the keywords. You have the different types of methods, right? Try to use those keywords, try to use those methods, replace with one and another, and then just try to get those outputs. Okay. Now, whatever I give you, you again do it in the compilers. Take the screenshots of all those just to have a practice, and then after next, you use remove keyword also and try analyzing the output what you're getting it, and then let me know if you have any doubts in that. Okay. Yeah. Thank you everyone. That's it for today.